In this video, we're going to break down the surprising science behind happiness and why your efforts to chase it could be working against you. It may sound unbelievable, but the harder you strive for joy, the more elusive it becomes. Instead of bringing happiness, the pursuit might be causing more stress, disappointment, and even sadness. Curious how this works? Stay with us as we uncover the unexpected truth about the science of happiness. For generations, society has fed us the idea that happiness is something we can achieve if we work hard enough. From social media influencers flaunting their perfect lives to self-help books promising a foolproof formula, we've been conditioned to believe that if we chase happiness, we'll find it. But what if I told you this chase might be the very thing that's keeping you from ever feeling truly happy? Happiness has often been portrayed as an external goal. Buy the right house, get the perfect job, or find the perfect partner. And then finally, you'll be happy. But the truth is, this relentless pursuit doesn't guarantee lasting joy. In fact, research shows that the more we chase happiness, the more it slips away. The problem lies in the very definition of happiness we're chasing. When we frame happiness as a destination, we fail to see that it's a process. Happiness is not something to be found through external achievements or material possessions. It's something that comes from within, through a shift in mindset. This is where the misunderstanding often lies. We see happiness as a finish line we must cross, but in reality, it's a practice, a habit that we can cultivate over time. Happiness is not something to be found through external achievements or material possessions. It's something that comes from within, through a shift in mindset. When we're constantly focused on the future, we miss the present. We're so fixated on the idea of future happiness that we forget to enjoy the moments that make up our lives. And the more we focus on reaching that idealized version of happiness, the more we set ourselves up for disappointment. It becomes a moving target, always just out of reach. It's like trying to catch a rainbow. No matter how fast you run, it's always just beyond your grasp. The constant pursuit of happiness fuels stress and dissatisfaction. It creates a cycle of comparison, where we measure our joy against others. And even if we achieve our goals, whether it's a raise, a new home, or a dream vacation, the joy we feel is short-lived. Eventually, we fall back into the cycle of chasing the next big thing, never truly savoring what we already have. So, if chasing happiness doesn't work, what does? Let's turn to science for some answers. Over the past few decades, psychologists and neuroscientists have been studying what actually makes us happy, and the results might surprise you. One of the key findings in the science of happiness is the concept of the happiness setpoint. This theory suggests that we each have a baseline level of happiness that we return to, no matter what happens in our lives. Whether we experience a major life event, good or bad, we may temporarily feel more or less happy, but eventually, we revert to our set point. Studies show that about 50% of our happiness is determined by our genetic predispositions, while the other half is influenced by our environment and how we choose to live. This is why it's so hard to achieve lasting happiness through external circumstances alone. Sure, buying a new car or getting a promotion might make us feel good for a while, but these feelings are often fleeting. The novelty wears off, and we return to our baseline happiness level. This phenomenon, known as hedonic adaptation, explains why we quickly stop appreciating the things we once desired. The more we chase external markers of happiness, the less satisfying they become. But the good news is that there's more to happiness than just our genetic wiring and external circumstances. Research also shows that our social lives, sense of purpose, and emotional well-being play a huge role in how happy we feel. Engaging in meaningful activities, fostering strong relationships, and giving back to others are all linked to higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. When we focus on things like gratitude, mindfulness, and connecting with others, we're able to elevate our baseline happiness and experience joy that's more lasting and fulfilling. Studies suggest that spending time in nature, engaging in creative hobbies, and practicing mindfulness meditation all boost our levels of happiness. These activities help us stay present and grounded, rather than constantly seeking the next high. Happiness, as it turns out, is not something to chase, but something we cultivate through conscious actions and habits. Now, let's talk about the hidden dangers of constantly chasing happiness. While the pursuit of joy might seem harmless, it can actually lead to burnout, dissatisfaction, and even anxiety. Think about it. When you're always looking for the next thing to make you happy, you're never really living in the present moment. You're always chasing something that's just out of reach. This constant pursuit of happiness can also put a strain on our mental health. The pressure to be happy all the time can lead to feelings of inadequacy, frustration, and guilt when we inevitably fail to meet the the unrealistic standards we've set for ourselves. The truth is, it's normal to experience a wide range of emotions: happiness, sadness, frustration, excitement, all of which are part of the human experience. Trying to force yourself into a constant state of happiness only creates stress and anxiety, as you feel like you're failing if you're not always feeling positive. This pressure can be exacerbated by social media. In the digital age, it's easy to compare your life to someone else's highlight reel. We see people sharing pictures of their vacations, their new cars, their perfect families, and we start to believe that everyone else is living a happier life than we are. We begin to internalize this idea that if we don't have what they have, we're somehow falling short. This comparison trap makes us feel inadequate and less satisfied with our own lives. But happiness isn't about perfection. Life isn't about constantly being in a state of bliss. It's about embracing the ups and downs, the good and bad, and finding meaning in both. The danger in chasing happiness is that we overlook this balance. We push ourselves to ignore sadness, frustration, and fear, emotions that are just as important as happiness. So, if chasing happiness isn't the answer, what is? The key lies in letting go of the chase and learning to embrace life as it comes. True happiness isn't about constantly striving for more. It's about accepting where you are right now and finding joy in the present moment. One way to break free from the cycle of chasing happiness is by focusing on what's meaningful to you. Rather than setting goals based on external validation or material success, focus on cultivating a sense of purpose and fulfillment in your daily life. Engage in activities that align with your values and make time for the people who truly matter to you. When you shift your focus from external achievements to internal fulfillment, you'll find that happiness follows naturally. Another important factor in finding happiness is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, without judgment or attachment. When you practice mindfulness, you're able to appreciate the little things in life, whether it's a quiet moment with a cup of coffee or a walk in nature. By focusing on the present rather than worrying about the future or dwelling on the past, you can cultivate a deeper sense of contentment. Gratitude is also a powerful tool for shifting your mindset. When we take the time to reflect on what we're grateful for, we train our brains to focus on the positive aspects of our lives. This simple practice has been shown to increase happiness and improve overall well-being. Real-life examples of people who have embraced this new approach to happiness abound. For instance, many individuals who have found meaning and satisfaction through volunteering or helping others often report higher levels of happiness. These people are less focused on personal gain and more focused on giving back, and their happiness comes not from chasing it, but from living a life of purpose. Ultimately, embracing happiness means accepting that it's a process, not a product. It's about finding joy in small moments, not waiting for the big break. The journey itself can be a source of joy if we allow ourselves to experience it without the pressure of achieving anything. In conclusion, happiness isn't something to chase. It's about embracing the present, finding meaning, and focusing on what truly brings joy. When we shift from seeking external success to internal fulfillment, happiness becomes a part of our everyday life. So next time you're chasing happiness, remember, true joy comes not from the pursuit, but from accepting life as it is. Reflect on how you're approaching happiness. Are you chasing it or embracing it right now?